Hey, what's going on, guys? So my girlfriend Kristen and I attended Flashback Weekend this last weekend on Saturday, August 9th of 2014. And Flashback Weekend is a phenomenal horror convention that is held annually in the Chicago area. And we're only about 45 minutes north of where the convention is held, so it is a perfect location for us to get to. And this year was my favorite one yet. I had such an amazing time. The number one thing that I was looking forward to more than anything is the Phantasm 35th anniversary reunion. So much riding on this because, number one, Phantasm is my favorite horror film. They had everybody there. They had Angus Scrimm, who was the tall man, Reggie Bannister, who plays Reggie, Bill Thornbury, who plays Jody, A. Michael Baldwin, who plays Mike, and then Kathy Lester plays the Lady in Lavender, as well as Don Coscarelli, who is the creator, writer, and director of the entire series. So, absolutely phenomenal get together, and they were there 5 years ago for the 30th anniversary, which is actually my first year attending Flashback Weekend. So that was a really good time, but this time around it just felt so much better. I got to talk to everybody a little bit more. It was a little bit more personable, and now that we have Ravager coming, there was all this hype for Ravager and stuff, so it was just a very exciting time and definitely my favorite horror convention that I've been to date. There were a whole bunch of other great guests too. Robert Englund was there, and if you haven't heard about it, he did appear in his Freddy makeup one final time on Friday, which was the 8th, and fans had a chance. It was a steep price, but they had the chance to go get the photo taken with him in his makeup. Unfortunately, it wasn't the whole get-up, but he was in makeup and had the glove on, so for fans of Nightmare on Elm Street who got to do that, that was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I did not do that because the price was just a little too much, and I wanted to make sure that I was able to do everything I wanted to do for the Phantasm reunion because that is my number one for this convention. But tons of other great guests. He had Children of the Corn reunion, Hellraiser reunion. They had the Soska sisters, Catherine Isabel, Ronnie Blakely, Tracy Lord, Zach Galligan was there, which was really cool. William Forsythe and Lance Henriksen, so a ton of great guests that were there. Awesome vendors here as well too, all sorts of stuff, horror. So if you're looking for some good horror stuff, plenty of stuff to see. I'm a huge artwork collector, so this is kind of like my breeding ground when it comes to getting artwork for horror stuff. And I got a new thing up. Yeah, right there you can see. New buddy of mine, Chris Ness, who did that right there. It is a hand-painted canvas of the tall man from Phantasm walking through a doorway with the spheres right above his shoulders there, and then you got the portal in front of him, so really cool. But I'll do another video on that in the next couple of days, just showing all the stuff that I picked up at the convention. So yeah, guys, Flashback Weekend is an absolute blast. I would highly recommend checking it out if you haven't done so, and if you need to travel a little bit, if there's some good guests that they get and you're willing to make the trip, it's a phenomenal convention. I just did a perimeter walk here just to give a general idea of what the floor looks like. They do have another area next to this room that's pretty large as well, and they use that for the Q&A with each of the guests, and they have all sorts of cool events going on over there. They had like a zombie pinup contest, and you know, Full Moon did a presentation and stuff, so there's different things going on throughout the day that you can bounce in and out of the vendors and, you know, getting your autographs. You can go sit down, relax, enjoy a Q&A and all that kind of stuff. So plenty to do here for sure, but you know, here's all the vendors. Once we make our way around to the back of the hall here, that's where we're going to see all the celebrity signings and all that. But tons of great vendors here. It's everything horror. We've got so much great artwork that you can dip into, which is what I like to collect. A lot of obscure DVD and Blu-ray vendors here, stuff that, you know, you don't see all that often, or you got to pay big bucks on eBay for. This one gentleman had Demons and Demons 2, which were the steelbooks, and I know those are pretty hard to come by. So he had about 20 to 30 copies of each one of those, which was pretty cool. And this other gentleman who handcrafts like all these different horror characters, and I don't know if they're out of clay or not, but he does like the Tall Man, Hellraiser, you know, Pinhead, and Freddy, and Jason, you know, which are kind of like your more modernized and common people, but then he also does like the obscure stuff. Like he did one for Dead Girl, one for the Human Centipede, Basket Case, and Angela from Sleepaway Camp, so a really crazy variety of stuff that this guy does. But all sorts of cool vendors, a lot of unique stuff you can find. And yeah, like I said, I'll make a video in a couple days here showing the stuff that I ended up picking up, because it's just tons of great stuff here for sure. But I know I mentioned the Robert Englund, taking a photo op with him in his makeup and doing that whole thing. It was a pretty steep price, but it was really all going towards a great cause. Flashback Weekend and the people that put this together are huge supporters of the Midway Drive-In. They basically run this convention to keep that drive-in in operation. A lot of the proceeds go to keep that functioning and operational. And Robert Englund specifically went into the makeup one last time to do that special event on Friday just to help raise money for that drive-in. So I think that's really cool of Robert Englund to do that. He's obviously a huge supporter, of keeping cinema alive, and I think drive-ins are a really, really good thing to keep going, because going to the drive-in is such a good time. So like I said, guys, the real main attraction of this convention for me this year was meeting everybody from Phantasm again, because Ravager's coming. It's the 35th anniversary of the original film, and the last time I got to meet everybody at the 30th anniversary, they were just phenomenal people. I had such a good time, so I just wanted to get another poster signed by everybody and just get a chance to talk with everyone one-on-one again, and that was a really good time. First time my girlfriend has met anybody from the cast, and we just finished watching Oblivion, which is the 4th Phantasm film, the night before we went, so she was really excited. She's really into the movies and stuff. So we had a really good time talking with everybody, getting to chit-chat a little bit, and just really had a blast with everyone. And I did do a photo op with the entire cast, so that was so cool. It was not expensive at all, and I got the digital file for that as well as a print, so I was really excited that I was able to do that and have a really nice memory with everybody from my favorite horror film. So after we walked the floor for a little bit, got all the autographs that we wanted, picked up a couple things from some vendors, it was time for the Phantasm Q&A, which I was extremely excited for, and it was a fantastic Q&A. Everybody got their chance to speak a little bit, and we got a really nice treat from Angus Scrimm at the end.
The funeral is about to begin. I've been waiting for you. You play a good game, boy, but the game is finished. Now you die. But anyway,
So they closed the main hall around 6 o'clock for the vendors as well as the autograph signings, and it's totally cool because the night was very far from over. We still had the Robert Englund Q&A, which was a really good time. Robert Englund, man, he knows how to work a microphone. That man can tell stories, and when you ask a question, he gives you a big, thorough answer. So about half of his Q&A was with the gentleman on stage, and it went to the audience for some questions. And I think about 4 or 5 people were able to get a question in. I was lucky to be one of those people. It was really cool. And I'm a really big fan of the Freddy movies, obviously. But, I figure he talks about the Freddy movies all the time. That's what everybody's going to ask about. So I wanted to touch on something that I figure maybe he doesn't get a chance to talk about that much and would be a little bit more exciting for him. I'm a huge fan of this movie as well and absolutely loved his performance. Hi there, Mr. Englund. Huge Freddy fan, but I want to touch base on Jack Brooks' Monster Slayer. Absolutely love your performance in that movie. I just want to know what the experience was for you to get into that character and make that as memorable as it was.
Here's the thing. The producer, star, and co-writer of that movie is from Ontario, Canada. And his father is kind of like the Bill Gates of Ontario. And he is the youngest of a son in a very successful family. But he's a movie ghoul, like most of us. And we all went out for a beer with him in an Irish pub. We talk all night about movies. Scorsese, vampires, zombies, action. He's a great, great guy. And Trevor Matthews called me up and invited me to do this part. And the thing for me was I hadn't done any comedy in a while. And it was an opportunity for me to do a little bit of physical comedy in this kind of retro, practical horror film. So I signed on, and it was actually a great experience.
So immediately following the Robert Englund Q&A, we got something really special, something that I never could have dreamed of actually seeing. And given that a couple cast members from Phantasm are musicians, that being Reggie Bannister, Bill Thornbury, and Kathy Lester, we got a Phantasm in concert, and it was spectacular. It was so cool to see them on stage performing, and once again, got a really special treat from Angus Scrimm to kick the whole thing off. And it was really cool to see Angus do this because, this is an 87-year-old man who was out here doing this convention, and he got up on stage and just completely owned everything. It was so cool. And if you have met Angus Scrimm, you know this, and if you have not, if you get a chance, just do it, because he is one of the kindest, most gentlest men you could ever meet, and he's got such a humor to him. I mean, the man is hilarious, but he's got such like an elegant, proper humor to him where he just, I don't know how to explain it. He's a really funny guy. But so he came out, did his thing. That got followed up by Kathy Lester. Then we got Reggie Bannister and Bill Thornbury together doing something that just completely blew my mind. If you know Phantasm, you know Sitting Here at Midnight, it happened. And then the Reggie Bannister Band came out and closed it up. They played, I think, about 6 songs and ended the whole thing with the closing credits title, Have You Seen It? That is in Phantasm, Oblivion. So I compiled some footage here. I think it's about 5 minutes long, just kind of showing a little bit of what everybody did. So I'm going to let that take the video to the end here. So thank you guys for watching. Flashback Weekend was a huge success. Had such an amazing time. I don't think any horror convention can top what this was for me, because Phantasm is just, that's horror to me. I absolutely love the whole series. Can't wait for Ravager. So once again, thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you all next time.
Now, prairie dogs can be quite contrary. Kissing me ain't their favorite thing to do. But I get lonesome from a little gal Mary. Or kisses me, a prairie dog or two. Prairie dogs, prairie dogs, kisses me, a prairie dog or two. I once knew a fella, got so hard up, he tried kissing himself a rattlesnake. He sure right quick, that wasn't the thing to do. Kisses me, a prairie dog or two. I'm just sitting here in the night, and I'll be sitting here till noon. You see, my baby left me lonely, yes she did. My baby left me blue, and I'm just so sad and lonely since I lost my love. Blue, I can feel a lifetime, and I wonder who is holding you, baby, is holding you in the night.
hope you're all staying over for tomorrow, and I'll talk to you then. Bye-bye.